So suffering happens, you could say, here or in this hole, but it doesn't happen to anyone.
So no one feels.
There isn't
pain
anyone. There's just
by it.
pain.
Yeah.
And the other thing about it is that now, of course, it's totally unfiltered. All done as an individual, like seeing things through a veil, then everything that's felt is only partly felt. It's pushed away, or it's not really felt. When there is no one, everything, pain is full on pain. Life is full on life. It's totally new and fresh and bam, boom. Because there's nothing in the way of it. There's nothing to filter. It's total, liberation is total aliveness. Intimate, well, it's not intimate because there's nobody to be intimate with it, but it's total full-on aliveness with nothing stopping it.
No, I think you sort of answered.
Sorry.
I'm still trying to figure out what the difference would be, but I think you...
Yeah, in a way the difference is you aren't there. The difference is fundamentally dramatic. In another way it's nothing. It is that the illusion that you're sitting there is no longer there. All there is sitting there. All that's happening in this room is sitting on a chair. It's happening. But for the individual believes that is happening to them. The two are immeasurably different. For the individual, sitting on a chair is just so what? It's just sitting on a chair. No big deal. For that which is not anyone, everything is totally new and fresh and alive. But with no sense of ownership and no sense of story attached to that. There's no story attached to what's happening. It's indescribable. Have you ever fallen in love?
Yes.
So falling in love sort of is a bit like this, it's a taste of this. It's like when you fall in love with someone, suddenly, and I mean falling in love with them, in that sort of ridiculous way or mad, crazy way, then there's something other, even than the person. It's like falling in love with love. It's just, wah. And this is the same, but it's in love all the time, but there's nobody in love. But it's not with anyone, or it can be. It's not with anyone, it's just with standing on the ground, her nodding, her moving, cars going on. It's a love affair. For no one.
Sorry. Does the actual state feel like a sense of fulfillment?
No, there's nothing like that. You don't walk around in a sense of fulfillment. There is no one, there is only beingness. That's why it's indescribable, and that's how it can't be known. It just is. In a sense, it's the death of something that thinks it can become something, and the absolute celebration of what is. But even the celebration of what is sort of makes it two things. It's just isness.
And how do you know that you've actually... I know there's no...
No, you don't. No, you don't know.
How is it recognised that that's...
It's not recognised. There's a realisation that comes with it, and there can be a communication of that realisation or not. I mean, I know a lot of people this has happened to or not happened to, who are not communicators of this, so they wouldn't necessarily need to put it into words and wouldn't want to or wouldn't be able to. I can't either. It just so happens that this body-mind it seems to be communicating it, or it isn't this body-mind that's communicating it, but the communication seems to come out through here and other places, other people. Yeah, it's just another thing that's happening. So in communicating it, it sounds as though it's something to know or to learn or to understand. It isn't. That's why I've been trying to say, or I've said a couple of times, all this is a description of something else, of another possibility. It can't be taught. I can't teach anybody to be because there isn't anybody. And the whole idea that you could teach somebody to be is such an arrogance. And the whole idea also, which comes out of a lot of traditional teaching, traditional advice included, the whole idea that you have to acquire a good mind and a refined mind and a refined body before this can happen is so amazingly ignorant. As though you having a refined mind or a refined body can then achieve childlikeness. Talk to a child making sandcastles, ask them whether they've got a refined mind. They're just sandcastling, there's no one there, it's just... Ugh. Who needs a refined mind to be causelessly joyful? It's all out of here, that sort of teaching.
Tony, how did it happen to you?
No, it didn't happen to me.
You're still waiting.
It doesn't happen to anyone, that's the whole point. This message turns everything completely on its head. There is no such thing as an enlightened person or a liberated person. The two words are contradictory. It doesn't happen to anyone. The illusion that you are separate suddenly collapses and there is only one. So it doesn't happen to anyone, obviously.
But there is an understanding that comes from there.
Well, it doesn't come from here, it's just an understanding or a realisation or a clarity about
And
it.
was there some base knowledge?
It's nobody's knowledge, no. The clarity that is being expressed here is nobody's. If it was, then this could teach somebody else to be clear on the basis that then liberation would happen. Liberation has nothing to do with clarity. Clarity is just in the story. Understanding this is just part of the story.
So there's no specific whatsoever. So we just live and we can have this.
No, you can't just live. Who's going to just live? Living's happening, but you can't now say, oh, from this afternoon I'm just going to live. All the time there is a me, all the time there is a separate me, there's a seeking.